Hello everyone. Bhavan's Middle East has always been the forerunner when it comes to child-centered education in the Middle East. Several innovative methods have been implemented in the Bhavan's Middle East schools. And today, Bhavan's Middle East, in collaboration with Janam TV, is bringing out a very unique program, Education to Home. This program is intended to benefit thousands of students, teachers, and parents, not just in the Middle East, but across the globe, where the Janam TV viewers will be watching these episodes. Today we are here from Bhavan's Kuwait, Indian Education School. Myself, Prem Kumar, and we have with us Sarita Umesh and Deepashri. We three teach chemistry at the Indian Education School, and Sarita teaches at Smart Indian School, Kuwait. Sarita, there are several initiatives that CBSE has brought in the recent past, which reduces the stress of students of grade 10 and 12 who are taking the board examination. Can you spell out a few of these initiatives for our viewers?
Thank you, sir. Indeed, it's a relevant question in the present scenario. The major decisions we can actually classify into three areas: the number of lessons to be taught, number of questions in the question paper, and typology of the questions. If we look at the number of lessons that we are teaching now and that we taught in the past, say between 2015 and 2018, we had 16 chapters in our textbook. But past 3 years, when we check, you can see a good number of lessons are actually deleted from the NCERT textbook, thereby reducing the stress on students. Secondly, the number of questions. Before, we had 33 questions.
Yes.
Now, it's reduced to 27. And the last is the typology of questions. Before, it was a paper of 70 marks with only subjective type of questions. Now it's a mixture of both objective as well as subjective type of questions. And in 2021, CBSE introduced the Term 1 and Term 2 scheme of examination, which is one of the major decisions that CBSE has taken to reduce the stress level on students.
Thank you, Sarita. That seems to be a wonderful, details and the initiatives of CBSE that you have spelled out. Now let me ask Deepashri. Deepashri, this Term 1 and Term 2 examination is similar to the semester examination we all wrote during our college days. What do you think about the Term 1 and Term 2 examination? Has it increased the stress level of students and hence their parents? Or is it beneficial to our students of grades 10 and 12?
Sir, I think I 100% support the semester system because it has always benefited the students. It has always reduced the stress level of students. Now we have only 6 units in Term 1 and now and 7 units in Term 2. Previously, they used to learn 13 chapters together, which decided their fate. That was, I think it is, or if at all a child scores a very less marks in Term 1, they could easily cope up or make up in Term 2 exams also. So I think indeed semester system will always benefit, and I 100% support the semester system also, Term 1, Term 2 system. Sir.
That's excellent. I mean, I too agree with the the decision taken by CBSE to conduct this semester type of examination and train our students for they will go to college immediately after the graduation from school. So they will get an understanding of the semester scheme when they enter the college education. I think this is an excellent move by CBSE, and we hope that this system of examination continues in the years to come. Deepa, during my days, when I wrote the CBSE Class 12 exam, the question paper had several choices, and I could choose the questions. Thereby, I could easily not study topics which did not interest me. And I studied only those topics which interested me, because I knew that questions would come from those topics, and I will not attempt the other questions. Today, is it possible for any student of class 12 to delete the topics and go for the examination?
No, sir, I don't think so. Students have to study all the lessons that has been given for term 1 and term 2, as there is no chapter-wise weighting given this time. As a whole, we have 13 marks for physical, 9 marks for organic, and 9 marks for inorganic, and 13 marks for organic. So there is no so student have to study student have to study all the chapters, or this is one way of communicating to the students that all chapters are equally important. So student have to put in maximum effort with the emotional involvement by studying all the chapters.
So that's wonderful, Deepa. I understand that CBSE is not giving any chance for students not to study the lessons that is included in the syllabus, right? So students have to study all the units, as they do not know the individual breakup of marks. Is that what you are trying to tell our audience? Yeah, so children must study all the topics, as all topics are important, and there is no topic-wise weighting, right? So they have given marks for the different branches of chemistry: physical, inorganic, and organic. As you said, it is a 13, 9, 13, which means the students have to study the physical chemistry and organic chemistry chapters more than the inorganic, which has 9 marks. So that makes sense to me, as well as to all the viewers, our students, that there is no escaping from any chapter that is being taught by the teachers.
Sarita, it is said that students dread chemistry because they have to learn hundreds of chemical equations. What is your view on that?
Actually, when we think about the memorizing the topics, could you tell me one subject which does not require memory power to learn? Right? Everything required memory power to learn, or everyone required. So when you check the inorganic reactions, hardly we have 2 chapters, that is P block elements and D and F block elements. Of course, I agree there are a number of reactions. But children, you are able to remember your classmates' name, your old friends' names, your favorite songs. Why? Then why can't you learn a few reactions or few important reactions from these chapters? Reason is simple. The former is in your memory because you are emotionally involved in that. Latter, just superficial involvement. Anything you do with superficial involvement will not stay in your memory for a long time. So my advice is, write the equation and learn. Never ever read the equation and learn. Always you have to write and learn. For that you can use the old wedding cards. Behind that there is blank space. You can write on that. all the important reactions, especially the repeated questions from the past papers. Then every day you take as many times as possible, just go through that. One day will come, that day you will be able to memorize all the reactions which you wrote on that card without looking at that. That is called emotional involvement.
So, Sarita, what you said now really interests me. That is the emotional involvement and superficial involvement. Most of our students are not emotionally involved while studying chemistry. They are superficially involved. They just read and read, which according to you does not make much impact in their performance during the examination. I agree with you. I too wrote all the reactions on cards, and I used to keep looking at them as often as I could, and I became thorough with all these reactions. I think it's wonderful tips that you are given to our students. I hope they are going to practice this, writing down the equations and learning.
Sir, I have a question. Students always say that organic chemistry is nightmare for them. They dread studying organic chemistry. So, could you give me a few tips just to help our viewers to mastering in organic chemistry?
Oh, Sarita, I'm very passionate about teaching organic chemistry, and I'm more passionate learning organic chemistry. Do you know why? Organic chemistry is just like mathematics. The more you solve organic problems and the more you involve yourself in conversions, you really feel happy with the organic chemistry, right? So in organic chemistry, the questions are classified into number of segments. Like there are name reactions, distinguish between pairs of organic compounds, there are word problems, they complete the following, and the conversions. If a student knows that this is what they have to study and focus for the examination, they can excel in organic chemistry. So what I advise the students to do is to write down all the name reactions in a Foolscape paper and file it. Similarly, write all the distinguishing pair of compounds and learn them. File it and then learn them. By doing this, they can score very well in organic units. Only 2 units we have: aldehydes and ketones, carboxylic acids, and amines. Organic chemistry should be learned with fun. Never get stressed learning organic chemistry. And you know, Sarita, these word problems, they always contain clues. If a student can identify the clues, they can trace forward and backward and get these compounds very easily. So why get stressed? Enjoy learning organic chemistry. That is my advice to the students over there. How did you study organic chemistry?
The same way, writing and learning. And I used to use the color pens for writing certain reactions, especially naming reactions. So
Correct.
whenever we turn the pages, it will just struck in our mind, right? It will
Yes.
just stick to our mind for a long time when we write with color pens. And what about the reasoning type questions, sir?
So reasoning type questions, basically they are of the application level. So one has to understand when the teacher is teaching in the class, and there is no other way of learning reasoning questions, because the teacher will definitely be asking questions, and then the teacher will elucidate the answer from the students, and therefore learning becomes thorough. No issues of the application questions. That's fun actually. Deepa, we spoke about inorganic chemistry. We spoke about organic chemistry. Now, let's talk something about the physical chemistry. There are 2 units of physical chemistry, namely electrochemistry and kinetics. Now, what tips would you offer our students in learning the physical chemistry units, and what kind of numericals can the students expect in the Class 12 board exam. Yeah.
I advise the student viewers to have an understanding of the terms in all these chapters. In chapter electrochemistry, we should be knowing about the cell potential. Then in chapter kinetics, we should know about rate constant, molecularity of the reactions, order of the reaction. Then understanding the Nernst equation and solving the numericals based on it is the most important one in this chapter. Then in the chapter kinetics, usually we see questions based on first order kinetics. If the children could practice numericals on those type, I think children will be able to score 100% in these physical chemistry chapters. I think sir will also agree with me in this topic.
Yeah, Deepa, I would further add that whenever they have to solve a numerical on Nernst equation, they must write the half reactions first. The anode reaction, cathode reaction, the overall reaction, and then solving problems on Nernst equation would become much more easier, is my advice to the students. And both in kinetics and electrochemistry, writing the unit is of paramount importance. So children, do not forget to write the units, because without units, the answer is incomplete. So I hope you understood what Deepa had advised all of you. Follow that, and I'm sure scoring 13 marks in physical chemistry is no big deal. Sarita, you have always been very passionate about teaching this coordination chemistry chapter. I know that. And also surface chemistry. You love teaching surface chemistry. So can you please share with our viewers how to study these two topics and what is very important in these two topics?
Sure, sir.
Yeah.
The first one is coordination chemistry or coordination compounds. That's the name of the chapter. When we check the coordination compounds chapter, the first thing that you should know, that is the IUPAC naming of coordination compounds. You should be able to identify the given coordination entity is a cationic one, anionic one, or a neutral one, and accordingly you have to name them. The second one is Werner's theory. And the third part that is very, very important, the two important theories, that is valence bond theory or VBT, crystal field theory or CFT. These two has paramount importance if you check this chapter. You have to go through this clearly and you should know that how to apply it. For example, there can be questions. One compound is paramagnetic, the other compound is diamagnetic. You should be able to identify why one is paramagnetic, the other one is diamagnetic using both the theories. Likewise, inner d orbital complex and outer d orbital complex, colorless or colored, then high spin or low spin complexes. These all are very, very important. Then come to the crystal field splitting energy and the pairing energy. Again, these two very, very important terms, you must know this.
Correct.
Then come to the surface chemistry, especially the preparation of colloids, properties of colloids, and purification of colloids. All the three very, very important. Then Hardy-Schutz rule. Based on that, application level questions will be there. Which substance can be used as a good coagulating agent? What is flocculation or coagulation? All these are very, very important.
I think, Sarita, even there are many differences, questions based on differences. Physisorption, chemisorption,
Yes.
right? Adsorption, absorption,
Distinguish between questions.
emulsions and gel.
Yes.
I think these are very, theory-based questions. I don't think children really find it hard to study because they enjoy studying these things because they like memorizing definitions and terms, etc. So surface chemistry is, by and large, students enjoy. There's no big difficulties as I see. So I think your tips on the coordination chemistry, I think it is quite interesting. And I hope our students benefit and they answer the questions well in the board examination, because without IUPAC name of a coordination component, a question paper is incomplete. That's a fantastic tip that you gave them, really good. Well, I think we have covered all the areas, didn't we? We spoke about physical chemistry, we spoke about organic chemistry, we spoke about inorganic chemistry, and we shared a number of useful tips to our viewers. But both of you, that is Sarita and Deepa, it's not enough that students just work hard and teachers also teach well. I feel the parental involvement is also a very important factor in the students' achievement. What do you think? Isn't it?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Yeah, so both of you are parents. Now, when your daughter falls sick, what do? You take them to a doctor. The doctor will check and doctor will prescribe medicines, right? Now you all go to a pharmacy, you buy the medicines and you go home. But if you don't follow the prescription given by the doctor and religiously give the medicine to your child at the right time, do you think your child will recover from the illness?
Never.
Never. Same way, teachers are teaching, students are coming to school, but if parents don't support them at home, monitor them at home, I don't think their learning is complete. So parents must involve to some extent in the education of their kids. It's not just enough to send them to school and leave it to the teachers. Do you agree with that?
True.
So as parents, you do that when you visit a doctor, but you don't do that after a child comes home. So as parents, I feel you have to be a good motivator. You should encourage your children, and failure should not be taken so seriously that you reprimand them. Instead of that, you can always encourage them by saying, do well next time. So if parents can be very supportive at home, I think the students' performance will be much, much better. So I think we have shared good information with our viewers. So let's hear you say something at the end of our session today. And we should thank Bhavan's Middle East and Janam TV for providing us a platform to share our academic content with a large number of viewers for the benefit of our children. And I hope that all of you will watch our future episodes. We will have our biology teachers, math teachers, and physics teachers, sharing their tips and views. And
അപ്പോൾ ഇന്നത്തെ ഈ എപ്പിസോഡ് ഇവിടെ അവസാനിക്കുകയാണ്. കുട്ടികൾ, നിങ്ങൾക്കെല്ലാവർക്കും ഞങ്ങൾ പറഞ്ഞ ടിപ്സ് എല്ലാം ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടു എന്ന് കരുതുന്നു. ഇത് ഒരു തുടക്കം മാത്രമാണ്. ഇനിയും ഞങ്ങളുടെ ടീച്ചേഴ്സ് മറ്റു വിഷയങ്ങളിൽ വളരെ എക്സ്പേർട്ടായിട്ടുള്ള ടീച്ചേഴ്സ് വന്ന് ടിപ്സ് ഷെയർ ചെയ്യുന്നതാണ്. ഇതുപോലെ ഇന്നിവിടെ നിങ്ങൾ കണ്ടത് കെമിസ്ട്രിയാണ്. അടുത്ത എപ്പിസോഡുകളിൽ ഫിസിക്സ്, ബയോളജി ആൻഡ് മാത്തമാറ്റിക്സ് ഈ സബ്ജക്റ്റിലുള്ള ടീച്ചേഴ്സ് വന്ന് നിങ്ങളുമായിട്ട് എല്ലാ ടിപ്സുകളും ഷെയർ ചെയ്യുന്നതാണ്. സോ യു വിൽ ബി ഏബിൾ ടു സ്കോർ ഗുഡ് മാർക്സ്. സോ സ്റ്റേ ട്യൂൺ വിത്ത് അസ്. ഈ അവസരത്തിൽ ഒന്നുകൂടെ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് അറിയിക്കാനുണ്ട്. ഈ ഒരു പ്രോഗ്രാം ഭവൻസ് മിഡിൽ ഈസ്റ്റും ജനം ടി വിയും ചേർന്നൊരുക്കുന്ന ഒരു പരിപാടിയാണ്. ഇതൊരു എഡ്യൂക്കേഷണൽ പ്രോഗ്രാമാണ്. ഈ അവസരത്തിൽ ഭവൻസ് മിഡിൽ ഈസ്റ്റ് ചെയർമാൻ മിസ്റ്റർ NK രാമചന്ദ്ര മേനോനോടും ജനം ടി വിയോടും ഞങ്ങൾ ഞങ്ങളുടെ നന്ദി അറിയിക്കുന്നു. താങ്ക് യു. നന്ദി.